Welcome back to the Hot Pot of Coffee podcast. My name is Brad.
And I'm Amanda.
And once again, Amanda is on the phone. She is still over in the butthole of the country.
The
Um,
flaccid penis of the country.
the flaccid penis of the country.
Yes.
Um, anyway, so what's going on, Amanda? What's been new this week? Last week we learned about your wonderful journey.
Oh, my journey. It's continuing. Sorry. I
Yeah,
just
it sounds like it.
water went down the wrong hole there. God, today was quite a journey. I was so at the hospital here, we like rotate through different like departments in the hospital. Like you'll be on just like upstairs in the ICU, or you'll be like taking care of like the neonatal raccoons or the neonatal possums or the squirrels.
Please call them by their correct name, Amanda.
Trash pandas.
Yes, they are not raccoons, they are trash pandas.
Oh, 100%. And I have to take care of a trash panda tonight, so but I'll get to that.
Fucking trash pandas.
Fucking trash pandas, man. Um, or you work upstairs in the ICU, but you're on like emergencies, and so that was me today. And we usually will get like 10 emergencies a day, maybe 12, 15. We got 20 today.
Like a
So,
bunch of rectal prolapses from like wild animal anal.
yeah, how'd you know? Every single patient.
You don't want to know how
So,
I know.
and you know what? And we just slap some lube on it and some sugar and put it right back in.
What the fuck does sugar have to do with it?
It draws out all of the fluid. It reduces the edema. You always put sugar on a prolapse. Come on, Brad.
So you think like fucking porn stars just have like a bag of sugar and their neighbors come over and like, can I borrow some sugar? And they're like, no, it's for my asshole.
No, that's my prolapse rectum sugar. Thank you very much.
That's fucking disgusting.
No animals came in with a prolapse rectum. Um,
Didn't you have one though at school or something?
yeah, the gecko with a prolapse
Dude,
rectum.
at that point, I think we talked about this on podcast. Why the fuck would you fix that? Just like kill it. It's a fucking gecko.
No, this gecko is 15 years old, first of all. The owner felt super bad because it was their fault that it had a prolapse rectum
That,
because
that makes that owner sound so fucking bad.
no, it just means that they weren't taking care of it appropriately. Like they had it on the wrong substrate, so it was eating sand,
Yo,
which
I
is
was
why it
fucking my
had
gecko in the ass, and
Bradley.
I'm sorry, it was eating sand.
It was eating sand, so it had like a sand colon infection, which is why it was straining, which is why it had a prolapse. And also, it wasn't like the humidity wasn't appropriate in its tank, so like it wasn't able to like pass it. And so like this was like the lady that brought it in, it was like her son's gecko that he'd had his whole life, and then he went to college, and I think she just felt bad, and she was like, "Yeah, all right, let's fix it." So
Rectal prolapse gecko. That's God. What a
yeah,
terrible day. Yeah.
I
So
know,
none of your
right?
trash pandas. I would imagine trash pandas get a lot of rectal prolapse because they eat fucking
They
trash.
they really don't. Their stomachs are made of iron. They're fine. No, what did I get? Okay, we got in like so Sanibel or the island that I'm on. It's
Why did dox yourself? All right, keep going.
who cares anyway. Um, it's so red tide is like a phenomenon that it's caused by like dinoflagellates in the water
Yeah, you
and
can find it at like Safeway and stuff, right?
no, what is wrong with you?
I'm sorry. It was just a good dad
And
joke.
it your dad jokes are horrible.
Well, my dad
There's
listens
an
to the podcast,
there's
so
an
he'll
animal
appreciate that one.
scampering outside,
That's
but
what
I didn't
animals
see what
do.
it
They
was.
fucking scamper.
No,
That's
no, it
literally
was
what
a
they do.
large. It was.
Was
You
it a
are
monitor?
no. Okay. Anyway, I didn't see what it was, so I'll never know. But anyway, so it's basically and also like warming ocean temperatures cause it to be like more severe and like proliferative and everywhere, and it affects all of our seabirds. So it we just saw on like the where they map where it's located, it's like hitting us right now. So we're getting in a lot of like pelicans and yellow-crested cormorants and a bunch of other animals.
Does it turn the water red?
It's an algae bloom, so it can turn it like a little red, but the algae is red.
I wonder if like, and I never get religious on the podcast, but I wonder if like, you know that bullshit in the Old Testament about like the water turning red or God turning it into blood? I wonder if it was just like an algae bloom and it was just like...
I don't think so, but...
You think it was blood? You think it was blood, Amanda? You think it was blood?
It's a fake story. Of course it was blood.
Hey, don't say that about a fake book. Anyway,
yeah, so we got in like some pelicans today. We got in a pelican that was completely wrapped in fishing line, so I had to cut him out of it.
wow, rude. Maybe that was his fall collection. And
no, it was not.
You
it
just
was really sad.
You ruined his high fashion.
Oh, we got in a little tiny screech owl today, and he's
Does it screech like? Ah!
No, screech owls, they click at you, like they clack their beak at you. Burrowing owls scream at you.
That's a terrible name then for a screech owl. Should change it to clicking owl.
Click clack, click clack.
The clacking owl. It speaks Xhosa.
Oh God.
What? It's an owl that speaks Xhosa. If you don't know, Xhosa is a South African language. It's the clicking language. Xhosa.
It's not just South Africa.
Well, it's a lot of Africa, but Xhosa is Xhosa. So there's an owl that speaks Xhosa.
Yes.
That's impressive. I can't speak it. And a fucking owl can? Jesus Christ.
I know, right?
That's fucking impressive.
So cultured.
He's such a cultured owl. Owls are very cultured. If you ever look at an owl, owls, yeah, for sure.
They've lived 1,000 lives.
Speaking of cultured, so this is some good. So okay, so a little bit of news. So
cutting me off.
Well,
during my journey.
Well, your journey. It's what else do you have about it? Anything exciting with those animals?
The trash panda that I have to feed at 11 p.m. tonight, and then also at 6 a.m. tomorrow.
Do you have to breastfeed it or just?
Yes. Yes, I do.
You have to breastfeed it. So.
I had a shot of oxytocin earlier and prolactin, so I'm ready.
That'd be fucking weird.
That would be weird. It's disgusting. Also, the nutrition that I would give is not enough for that record. So
I like how you even thought about it. Great. Okay. So anyway, Zach, you guys all know Zach. He's been on the podcast a ton. So he called me the other day, and his wedding is coming up in 3 weeks. Jesus. 3 weeks. And he called me the other day and he said, oh, hey, well, he texted me and he said, hey man, do you have a second to talk? And I was like, okay, this is either going to be good or he's in jail and he needs me to bail him out. And I told him that and he just started laughing. I was like, I knew it's one of two things. It's either about the wedding, because he said, hey man, I need to talk to you really quick. You have a second? I was like, okay, it's either about the wedding or he's in prison. Both,
if he was in prison, viable. Would he say real quick?
He's like, they're like, you can text one person.
I gotta talk to you real quick.
So, I mean, I'm definitely the person to call if you're in jail. And you're a friend. If you're not, then run.
Wouldn't he call his wife to be, I would think?
No, he probably wouldn't want her to know. So, anyway,
okay.
He calls me and he said, hey, I'm down a groomsman. You want to be a groomsman? And I was like, yeah. What am I going to say? I
see the creature again. Oh, I think it's just a rat.
Oh my God. Okay. So anyway, I was like, oh, fuck yeah. Like, of course I will. He's one of my really good friends from college. I hadn't seen him in a while. And then he just moved back to Arizona. So that's why I wasn't a groomsman in the first place. He'd moved away. You know how it is after college. But yeah, so I just ordered my suit. Well, ordered it. It's like it's really interesting. It's like this online suit. People who like rent out suits, and you fill in all your information, like your height, your weight, your pant size, your body type, and then they send you a suit 2 weeks out from the wedding, and then you like email them back and tell them if something doesn't fit right, or if you need like some sort of alteration, and they'll overnight you the alteration.
Damn.
Yeah, it wasn't that bad. It was like the same price as it was for my brothers to rent a tux, so it's like whatever.
Yeah.
now I got to go boot shopping. So I'll probably hit up Zach here this week or like next weekend and go boot shopping. Everyone's supposed to wear cowboy boots, which I think is fucking tight, and I'm gonna do it. So, and the reason,
obviously,
and the reason I'm excited for that is so the information I haven't been able to share because I don't know if any of my coworkers listen to this podcast. I hope not, but basically, I didn't want to share the information that I've been talking about for a few weeks on here that I said the good news. And it's good news for me, not for any of you listeners. But
yeah, no one gives a shit.
No one gives a fuck. But I actually got a new job. I got a job that...
Congratulations.
You shut the fuck up, Amanda. So I got a new job that basically is in my wheelhouse and my area of expertise. My area of expertise, like what I studied and my degree is in. And
that's what your wheelhouse means?
Well, it's still in medicine, but I'll be doing more on
You're not answering me. You're ignoring me.
Wheelhouse. Like, you know what that means, don't you?
No, I've never heard that.
Jesus Christ. Well, I'm not going to sit here and explain it to you on a podcast because every single other person has heard that.
No, dude, you know what I just remembered? I'm so sorry that I am ruining your announcement, but we got a bat in.
Yes, there are a lot of bats on the planet, Amanda. They are not endangered.
What does it being endangered have to do with it?
You know, bats are just like dogs. They like act like dogs.
I mean, some do, but this bat was sad. But I gave him syrup.
Well, okay, there's so much to unpack here. Why was the bat sad, and how did you know it was sad?
It was hypothermic.
Yes.
And it was not moving, which is why it was sad. And so we were like, hey, it's hypothermic. It probably needs some sugar because it's probably hypoglycemic as well.
So you give it some Aunt Jemima's?
So I dipped a little Q-tip in some Caro syrup and I stuck it in his cute little mouth.
And he nibbled on that shit?
He totally nibbled on it. It was adorable. And then we warmed him up because we put him on a little rice sock that was warmed up in the microwave. And then he got to be released because he was doing great.
White rice or brown rice?
It's white rice.
Sorry, I'm just pretending I'm at Chipotle. So anyway, dude, speaking of, I'll go back to my original thing. Chipotle just got what did they just get? Not chorizo. They've had chorizo. They just got a
new meat. The Impossible meat?
No, that would be sick though.
Then I don't.
They just got what's that fucking steak that's seasoned with like lime and all of that that I always get everywhere every time I go to like Blanco.
I fucking know.
Every time I go to Blanco.
I don't know. You get the quesadilla.
God damn it. New Chipotle meat.
Chipotle.
God damn it. What did they just get? Carne asada. Fuck. Why couldn't I think of that?
Are you fucking serious? Carne asada.
They just had a carne asada.
That's what you were thinking of?
Yeah, and I am so fucking happy. I've been there like 3 times the last week to get myself a carne asada burro.
Oh God.
Yeah. Anyway, let's hop back into the good news. So I got a new job in my wheelhouse, and my area of expertise, if you will. And it's a substantial promotion for me. My title, my title may not. I'm not going to say my title or any of that or what company I'm working for.
Don't say, yeah.
But I will be. I will have the entire Southwest. And I'm just excited about it. I'll be traveling a little bit, but shouldn't interrupt the podcast whatsoever. So that's fucking tight. And because of that, I need to go buy a new car because I have a company car and they're going to fucking take it back like immediately.
Like yesterday.
Yeah. So I went car shopping yesterday. So yeah, we'll see. I'm super excited about it, and it's gonna be a lot of work, but that's just life, and you gotta deal with it.
Good job.
I'm very nervous. I'm super nervous. Hopefully in like 2 or 3 years, if I do really well, they'll make me like a VP, and then I can just be like fucking awesome.
Wishful thinking.
No, not really, actually. But we'll see. Anyway, yeah. So that's the good news. I know all of you guys were like, "Wow, that's a fucking letdown." I thought it was gonna be cooler, but it is cool for me. So fuck you.
Right?
Anyway, what is in the news? So, Amanda.
Yes.
You don't really get the news because you're in the middle of fucking nowhere.
I'm not in the middle of fucking nowhere, but I do get the news. I have the skim. Thank you very much.
Okay. Well, did you hear about
every fucking morning? Thank you very much.
Did you hear about the is his name Jacob Wool on let's see. I think it's Jacob Wool. This guy now if I'm saying his name wrong, forgive me, but there's this guy named Jacob Wool.
You're not forgiven.
And I think that's his name. And him and his friend, they're literally being prosecuted currently in the state of California for like a felony. But they're these conservative, they like to call themselves conservative whistleblowers. But really what they do, they're like super young kids and they're just always looking for media time and they always make up stories. They make up tons of shit. Like the other day, they said they had the whistleblower's name and they'd be releasing it in 12 hours and then they just never do. And then they've said they have personal texts with the Ukrainian president and they're going to release them at midnight and they never do. And they never talk about it again. They just do all of this, right? Yeah, they make up shit and people think this guy's literally fucking crazy. So anyway, he just put out this thing that he said he had a major ball to drop about Elizabeth Warren, who's one of the leading Democratic candidates for the 2020 election. Oh, shut the fuck up. So wait till I read this to you. So basically, they call a press conference all the time on Twitter saying they're going to talk about this, release it, and it's outside of their house. And I think it's in like Manhattan or whatever. And they send this out, and usually the only people that show up are like 3 journalists who are making fun of them and a whole bunch of like people on Twitter and shit who just want to laugh. These guys constantly do these press releases from their front step and people always go and just crack up because these kids are crazy. Like they're insane. Just look them up. Look up Jacob Wool on YouTube and it's insane. Anyway, so what they did is...
I feel like I don't want to waste my time and do that.
Yeah, well, this is hilarious. So they came out and said that Elizabeth Warren, this is what they said. They said Elizabeth Warren is a sex fiend who wow. Yes, who hires prostitutes and has, with her husband, had like been in a threesome relationship or whatever.
Damn, girl.
Just wait for this. So they said that they had a United States Marine, a former United States Marine, who had come out and said he worked for a company that was hired by a lot of people in Washington or whatever that gave, they were escorts. So they invite this guy on stage. He's like 23 years old. He's a former Marine, and he read this statement out to the public. And I'm going to read it for you now, and just wait for this, okay? So this is what this United States Marine, former United States Marine Corps combat veteran, he said. Oh, he's 25. I'm going to read this. Statement of fact and belief. That's what this is called.
What?
My name is Kevin Wheely. I am a 25-year-old U.S. Marine Corps, and he spelled it corpse. Combat.
That's how you spell it.
No, CORPES.
Oh.
Marine Corps combat veteran. Senator Elizabeth Warren first secured my services from a website called cowboysforangels.com or .org. This is a site for attractive young men
who... How could that be .org? Okay.
I'm pretty sure it's .org. Yeah, that's whatever it's... How could that be... This is a site for attractive young men who provide companionship escort services to well-heeled women. Okay. Oh, it's not even close to done. I was hired by Senator Warren from this site on August 7th, 2018. She reached out by messaging me on the site. On August 8th, 2018, I was booked by Senator Warren on a flight to Massachusetts. I was told to take an Uber to the lobby of the Hilton Hotel in Woburn, Massachusetts. I complied with the instructions of my new client despite being rather nervous. I had spent time with older women before, but never a woman older than 60. Okay. Now, before I move on, I'm halfway through this, but I want to just let you know who this guy is first. So, I just want to make this clear. So, Kevin Wheelie, the guy who says he's a former combat veteran, people had looked up into his past. He has never been in combat. He only served 2 years in the Marine Corps, where a normal deployment or whatever is 4 years. He was in Hawaii.
Obviously,
here's the
early.
Yeah. On his Facebook, he's got very racy posts and a lot like very, very pro Trump. And he's a flat earther. Yeah.
That's just the cherry on top.
That's the cherry on top. So he's a flat earther as well. So keeping all of that in mind about this man, let's continue this. Although I was unaware of it at the time, Senator Warren wanted not just rough sex, but extensive BDSM play. On the early morning of August 8th, before boarding my flight, she messaged me and told me to bring toys. I asked, "What kind of toys?" And she said, "Surprise me." At that point, while waiting to board my flight, I ordered a Hitachi massager and a small tube of water-based lubricant. I had the products delivered via Amazon same-day delivery to the front desk of the Hilton, where I was set to meet Senator Warren. I feel like this guy is saying this because his mom is like, "Hey, why are there these purchases on my Amazon account?" And they were really for his butthole. But he's like, no, I swear to God.
It's for Senator Warren.
It's for Senator Warren. I swear. It's not for me.
I promise.
Why else would you say it's from Amazon? So let's continue. The evening of August 8th, 2018 was the first of not several, but many BDSM sessions with Senator Warren. Although I had a fair amount of experience in this business, I was shocked by the intensity, duration, and sheer violence of what Senator Warren wanted. After our introductory pleasantries, she seemed disappointed with what I had ordered from Amazon, although we made use with what we had available during our session. This guy, it's like he's writing fan fiction of like what he wants to happen.
Yeah, this is for sure his fan fiction.
This is straight up fantasizing. I usually don't ask whether my clients are married, but for some reason with Senator Warren, I did just before we parted ways. She said, "Yes, I am married. My husband and I are in an open relationship," she added. "In my line of work, this is a fairly common arrangement. You wouldn't believe how many studs like you show up to the congressional retreats." And with that, I got an Uber back to the airport. Signed, Kevin Wheelie.
What the fuck?
Jesus fucking Christ. Literally, so I watched the video of him reading this to like all the people standing outside of the house, and everyone was cracking the fuck up. Like, people were like, okay, yeah.
Like, sure.
So, and then the sign outside, they had like a sign outside the house, like right before they were about to come out. And there's a big sign over the podium that says Elizabeth Warren, Cougar? Question mark.
Even if she is, who cares?
Right? So
Our president literally like had a prostitute.
That's what's so funny about it is like,
it's like, who gives a fuck?
Yeah.
All morals are completely gone now. Like there's the bar is set so low for any morality, it does not matter what any other candidate does.
Right? So this was like fucking hilarious. Everyone was cracking up. Everyone knows this guy Jacob Wool is a psychopath and he's just a fucking idiot. But Elizabeth Warren totally trolled him on she trolled him on Twitter. So she posted a Twitter of her college, and she said, "It's always a good day to be reminded that I got where I am because of a great education was available for $50 a semester at the University of Houston." And then in parentheses, she said, "Go Cougars."
Lol. That's hilarious.
And she posted a picture of the Houston Cougars, and it's just a picture of a cougar. Look, I may not agree with everything Elizabeth Warren says, but that's fucking hilarious. Oh,
great.
What a boss. So that's what's been happening in like La La Land
in the world
of politics. Yeah, a second whistleblower came out today too. So
damn.
Yeah, I mean, it's just been all sorts of fucked up. So yeah,
it's kind of how every day is in America.
Yeah. Anyway, I thought that story was just so fucking great, and it's like, you think any liberal is going to give a fuck if she's in an open relationship? That's literally like especially far left. Well, I mean, I think it's, I don't agree with it, but I don't give a fuck. Like if she wants to get, but
if that's what you want, why does it matter?
Oh, this doesn't end either. So the Marine, he Mr. Wheelie, what is his fucking name?
Wheelie.
Mr. Wheelie, yeah.
Kevin.
The shoes. Mr. Wheelie shoes. He then
Man, I always wanted those shoes. I never got them.
Me too. In third grade, people were like going around school in those.
Yeah, right. And I totally wanted them, and my mom was like, no.
And there was those kids who were like fucking amazing at it. Oh my God. I was so jealous. Anyway, so this guy decided after this to take off his shirt and turn around and show a scar that has been left on his back from her whipping him.
How is that at all proof?
But wait, here's the best part. He said this happened on August 7th, 2018. People went to this guy's Instagram, and he's like a workout guy. He posts like fitness pictures. And 3 weeks ago, he didn't have the scar on his back.
What?
So he's a fucking idiot. He's like, these people are goddamn fucking idiots, and they don't realize it. And it makes me realize just how fucking stupid everyone is. It makes me so mad. But anyway, I'm over it. Yeah, I'm infuriated, but I just forget about it. What else has been going on? My professional blackjack career is doing very well.
Oh my God. Stop.
I'm up another 300 this weekend.
No one... I'm sure everyone listening is like, I wonder how much money Brad has won while playing blackjack this week.
No, a few, like a month and a half ago. No, this is a new update because Brad is going to be a professional blackjack player. Basically all I've been doing, I took out $200 like, what was it, Amanda, like 2 months ago?
I don't know.
And I've just been playing with that. And I'm up like $600 since then. And yeah, sometimes I go and I lose. If I lose 100, I immediately leave. And then if I made a rule for myself. If I lose 100, I immediately leave. And if I'm up 200% at any point during the night, if I'm up 200% of what I started with, I fucking leave. Even if it's 10 minutes after I get there, I pick up my chips and I walk away. And that's why most people lose money, is because they don't know when to walk the fuck away from a table. You want to keep playing because it's fun, but your statistics say that if you're up 200%, you're going to lose all of that money because statistically, you won all that money. So now if you play perfect basic strategy, you have a 49.5% chance. If you're not counting, you have a 49.5% chance to win. So there's a 50.5% chance you're going to now lose. So I just walk away. And So when did I go? The other night? Yeah, when I told you I went.
Oh.
I just want to tell you a funny story. So I'm sitting there, and it's just me and this old woman at the table. And she sits down and she goes, "Oh, I've been playing longer than you've been alive." And I wanted to be like, "Congratulations on being a gambler for longer than 30 years." Like, I don't know what to tell you. So,
congrats on being old.
yeah. So I'm playing, perfect basic strat. And so what I've been doing is every time I win a hand, I put another unit down. And then if I lose, I go back down to the minimum bet. So I'm up 3 hands. So I've got like a decent amount on a hand. I flip 2 8s, which means you have to split. I split that. Another 8 hits my hand. I have to split that again. Now I am playing 3 hands at the most money I'll put on the table. And then I hit down, I get an 11, so I have to double down. So I have 4 times my bet on the table, Amanda.
I have no idea what this means, but carry on.
So I have like $200 down on the table. Okay. And it was completely, this kind of thing happens 1 in like 500 hands, where one hand turns into 4. So the woman next to me, she has a 12 and dealer is showing a 3. Okay. And you're supposed to, basic strategy says if you have a 12 and dealer showing a 3, you hit. Now she's like, "I don't usually hit." She turns to me and she goes, "I don't usually hit on this. And I know you do." And she goes, "And I want to ask you, because you have a lot of money on the table, what do you want me to do?" And she turns to me and asks me this. She's like 7 years old. And I said, "Could you please hit for me?" And she goes, "Okay, honey." And she hits. She hits. She doesn't bust. She has like a 20. But she hits. And the dealer turns over their card and has a 13, hits again, gets a 10, busts, and I win. And if she didn't hit, the dealer would have gotten 21. So she was like, she turns to me and she goes,
"What a miraculous story."
So the dealer turns to me. I know, it's amazing for me. So the dealer, or not the dealer, the woman turns to me and she looks at me and she goes, "You're welcome, son." I was like, "I'm not your fucking son, bitch."
It was your mom.
Yeah. And then she like high-fived me.
Sherry?
Hi, Mom. She high-fived me and then she's like, "Good job." And I go, "No, it's just whatever." So anyway, that's my blackjack story of the weekend. That was fun. I'm trying to learn poker, but I don't know if I'm smart enough. It's a very complicated game.
You don't want me to start singing Lady Gaga again, so I don't think you can.
Well, no, I mean, you can win a lot in Texas Hold'em because you don't have to play if you have a bad hand. There are people who make their living off Texas Hold'em because you're not gambling against the casino.
I totally didn't even get my joke.
I know, your poker face one. I just don't want to hear you fucking sing it again. So,
exactly.
No, there are people like Aaron, my brother's friend, who play, poker professionally, make a living off of it, but they know exactly how to play. I've been watching videos and everything, and I still just like can't grasp everything. I'm too afraid to sit down at the table. I think I just need to not be afraid and just fucking suck it up and do it. But,
I think you need to stop gambling.
Oh, shut the fuck up, Amanda.
I think you have an addiction.
No, an addiction would be I'm losing. I sit there all night and lose every night and then keep taking money out.
An addiction doesn't always have to mean you're losing. It just means you're obsessed with something and you have to keep going back.
No, it's fun to play and I have limits for myself and I always walk away during those limits. That makes me it's a controlled addiction. It's like someone who's like, "Okay, I'm never going to do more than like 3 mils of heroin ever."
Okay, that's still not a good thing.
I don't even know how much if that's too much heroin. I don't know. That
sounds like way too much heroin.
I don't know. In the movies, they're always shooting up like 20 mils. And you're like, "Oh, that seems excessive."
They literally have like a 1 mil syringe hanging out of their arm.
Well, yeah, probably. Actually, I don't know. It's probably a good thing I don't know how much heroin is too much heroin.
This is true.
Let's just leave it at that. Anyway, so I figured we could close up this podcast with some relationship advice. What do you think about that?
I think, sure.
Yeah, well, it was going to happen whether or not. I haven't picked out any.
I hate it, but
I know.
Sure.
I haven't picked out any, so I was going to read you some things, and see what you thought. Let's see here. Oh my God. Okay, we'll do this one. 25-year-old male, got raped last night, and I don't know how to tell my girlfriend.
Oh God.
Oh, God. Yeah, let's read this
Why?
because you never hear about men getting
No.
raped. Yeah,
Yes,
we're
you
going to read it.
do.
Last night I went out for some
I
drinks.
don't want to hear it.
Amanda, this is important.
I'm uncomfortable and
That's
I
good.
don't.
That's good. Let's just see what it's about. Last night I went out for. Oh,
He literally said what it was about.
okay,
But
but
okay.
okay, but more than likely he got drunk and some girl took advantage of him. Last night I went out for some drinks with
Or
a
he was
friend.
raped by
Amanda,
a
I'm
dude.
trying to read this rape story.
Okay.
Last night I went out for some drinks with a friend. At the end of the night, while I was waiting for my ride, a girl from the bar we were in recognized me and asked if I could walk her home since it was so late. Alarm bells went off, but she was alone, and I thought of my girlfriend or sister being in the same position. And since she said she lived just off the street where the bars are, I agreed. I will regret that forever. He did the right thing. I used to do that in college. I mean, I had a girlfriend, and if I saw people like walking alone at night through campus or something, and some girls on college campuses were like, "Can you walk with me?" I'd be like, "Yeah, sure, no problem." So he did the right thing.
Yeah.
Let's see where it went. We walked and made small talk and had a cigarette. Well, there was your first problem. I like how in parentheses he puts one each, like we gave a fuck how many cigarettes they smoked.
Yeah, like that affects their ability to like.
Yeah, I
think
smoked too many cigarettes and I
appropriately.
didn't know what was happening. But after a while, I realized we shouldn't laugh at this rape story, but let's see where it goes. But after a while, I realized I had no idea where we were. Ooh, this is turning into like goosebumps. I'm terrible with directions when I'm sober, but I had a few beers and was even more disoriented than I normally am. When we finally got to her house, she said she'd forgotten her key and brought me around back to get her roommates to open the back door. I was very sketched out and sat down on her porch swing away from the door. She sat down next to me and tried to make a move, but I told her I have a girlfriend and that I'm not interested. At that moment, the door swung open and she pulled me inside. She offered me some water, and being drunk and wanting to sober up quick, I said yes. I know how stupid that was in retrospect, but I was freaked out and didn't think that I was in any real danger being a tall guy. Yeah, because that makes a difference. The next thing I remember is being in her room and my pants being down and her naked.
The next thing he remembers.
She put an airborne in his water and he passed out. I don't know what happened just before that or right after, but I think I came from whatever happened. Does he mean he came? Like came? Or yeah, I think so. I came from whatever happened. Part of me wishes I remember because I absolutely dread the feeling of not being in control of my mind and body. But another part of me never wants to know what went down. I love my girlfriend more than anything in the world, and she has been my rock for the last 3 years. Telling her what happened will make her question me or what really happened, especially because I don't know. I barely slept and all I want to do is cry. I knew men can get raped, but I didn't know. I didn't feel like what you would imagine, so I feel guilty. I thought rape was being physically forced to have sex, but there's no way she could have overpowered me alone. I have no idea what happened. Okay, I agree with this first comment. Go to the hospital and get drug tested for rape drugs. Fuck yeah. She might have roofied you. If that's the case, you got raped. Story is not, yeah. Let's see. All the comments are victim blaming. I don't think it's his fault. I just think...
it's not his fault.
I think
it's never the victim's fault. Like, if anyone even says that, that's fucked up.
Now, I agree with you. Okay.
No, I don't want to hear it.
No, I've said this before. I've said this before on the podcast. I've said this before on the podcast. Right, I fucking agree with you completely. But I do think there are... Now, I agree with you. No one should rape. Okay? That being said, I do think there are situations... Now, I don't think people should rape, but people do rape. So just because you think people shouldn't doesn't mean people don't. So there are situations you can keep yourself out of. Like, I don't know, being in a frat house, leaving your friends, getting crossfaded in someone's room and passing out with around a bunch of 19-year-olds who don't fucking give a shit. I agree. No one should rape you, even in that case, but people do. And so you can keep yourself out of those situations. It's just like the fact that people should not drunk drive, but people do. So you should always be aware of your surroundings driving. And I've had people mad at me for saying that. Like, well, there are situations you can keep yourself out of. And people go, well, no one should rape. I fucking agree with you, but they still do rape. So I don't know what to tell you. Like, if you're in a frat house in the middle of the night or in some fucking bar and you get crossfaded and you leave your friends, you have no one watching you, like, and you get raped, yes, I'm sorry that happened to you. No, it's not your fault. But sounds wrong. But you did put yourself in a very shitty situation that could have the situation could have been avoided. And it's just like driving and how I learned how to drive. Situations can be avoided. So not all situations. If someone breaks into your fucking house and rapes you, or you're walking home from work and someone fucking overpowers you, there's nothing you could have done. You could not have separated yourself from that situation whatsoever. Yeah. This guy, I mean, he already felt something was going wrong, but he was trying to do the right thing. Yeah. So I'm not victim blaming in this case, but. And I never victim.
Sometimes you like feel like you're like, okay, this situation like doesn't feel right, but you don't know how to get yourself out of it. Like that happens a lot, I feel like.
Yeah. Anyway, we'll stop with that one. Like we're not going to talk about that anymore because I know people are going to be angry about what I said. But again, my podcast, fuck you. But also, I will reiterate: no, rape is not okay, but you should have street smarts and understand that people are pieces of fucking shit. Let's move on. My 31-year-old, she's a 31-year-old female fiance who's 38, doesn't want my ex to come to our wedding. No shit.
Why would you invite your ex to your wedding?
Let's read on. One of my best friends is a gay male who was actually my neighbor in high school. We dated for 9 months at 17 years old, but since then he's only dated men. He wasn't out of the closet in high school. We have remained close friends into adulthood. I don't take the fact that he was my ex seriously because it's been a friendship for 95% of the time we've known each other. There are no feelings on either end, and we have both had major relationships since, including the one I'm in right now where I'm getting married. My fiance doesn't want to hang out with my ex or invite him to the wedding. He says the fact that we've slept together really bothers him, and I wouldn't like it if he invited an ex. I fucking agree. I don't know what to do. I can't imagine my ex not at my wedding. Fiance is willing to go along because it's important to me, but hates the idea, and I don't want to do that to him. By the way, this is the first time I've ever seen my fiance jealous. The comments are like, yeah, maybe stop referring to him as an ex.
Yeah, I feel like it's not, I don't know, because it doesn't feel like it's an ex, even though they did like date, but the person is gay now, so I don't know.
Oh, Amanda, I completely disagree with you.
What do you mean?
Completely fucking, in all of these comments, completely disagree with you. These comments, you've had sex with him. He has no business being in your life anymore as a friend, or he's your ex. Leave him in the past. I agree. If they hadn't had sex and it was like a high school relationship where they hadn't had sex and whatever, and then he was just dating her because, you know, he wasn't out of the closet, fine. But he fucked her. No.
Well, I think he wasn't out of the closet yet.
Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. First of all, you know me. I wouldn't date anyone as a personal preference, I don't date people who are friends with their exes. People who are friends with someone they fucked, I'm sorry, mm-hmm. I'm not interested. I remove myself from that situation immediately, because I've seen where that goes personally. But
you cut out for a little bit there.
Oh, well, maybe just for you. But no, I remove myself from that situation fucking completely. Fuck that. Like, if a girl is friends with someone she fucked, I really don't care what you think, someone listening to this, about that. It's your prerogative if you want to do that, but I've seen where it goes. Fuck no. So I'm 100% on this guy's side. 100%.
Yeah, it's like, I understand. I can see both sides of it, but like, if it makes your significant other uncomfortable, and especially like your fiance at your fucking wedding, then that's like an easy thing to just be like, no, you can't come to my wedding.
Your happiness is not as important as his uncomfortableness. Is that a word?
Yeah, no, it's true. Like, why would you want your like husband to feel like that at your wedding, which is supposed to be like a super happy occasion for both of you? So yeah, I can see both sides of it, but I think she should not invite him.
Yeah, anyway, it's pretty fucking cut and dry.
That would just be like disrespectful to who you're about to marry. So.
Yeah. Anyway, let's finish with this one because this one is very similar to a story that I told Amanda that happened to me in college. My 22-year-old female boyfriend called me by his friend's name during sex. I'll keep it simple.
Haven't you said this one before?
No, this is a new one. I'll keep it simple. Yeah, it's pretty simple. My boyfriend has this semi-best friend who he has known for 2 years. We've been together for almost 1 year. He hangs out with her sometimes and goes to the gym with her. I've brought up boundaries a few times because I believe that she can get too comfortable around him. Long hugs, sending him outfit pictures. He brushed it off at first, but realized I was...
Sending him outfit pictures?
Yeah, how do I look in this G-string?
So weird.
I'll admit that I've had a very strong urge to snoop the past few weeks, which is unhealthy, I know, mainly because they've been hanging out more, and yes, I'm jealous of it. She's super fit and likes to show off. I don't want to see her as competition, but part of me does. So we're having some fun, and I heard him moan something, but I couldn't hear it. Fast forward a few minutes, and he does it again, and he's saying his friend's name. I stop. He asks what's up. I tell him what happened, and he denies it. I'm not stupid, so I simply get up and make plans to leave the house. He then tells me I'm right and that he's very sorry. I'm pissed off, and he tried to play it off at first. He apologized. I don't know if I'm overreacting or being insecure. The timing is just off, and this hasn't happened before. I've never as much peeked at their conversations, but this is an overwhelming urge for me now. And all the comments are like, yeah, that's not good.
Yeah, no, that's not a good sign. Really.
Yeah. Yeah. Someone said, at least it wasn't a Freudian slip and he yelled his mom's name.
I guess you could look at it that way.
This guy's got a good one. Yo, you're 22 years old and he's 21. He's like, get a grip. He's fucking her. Yeah, I don't know. See, I'm in this camp that a lot of people know, my unapologetic camp, that especially at that age in your young 20s, you cannot be friends with an attractive female.
Oh my goodness.
Unless you've like grown, like I have attractive female friends that I grew up with.
You had attractive female friends in college that you didn't grow up with. So I don't even
yeah, but I still wanted to have sex with them.
While you were dating like someone? No.
Yeah, I didn't hang out with them while I was dating someone. I didn't hang out with them alone ever. When I was dating someone.
Well, yeah, you don't do that.
But I'm not going to lie that I wanted to fuck them. But like when you're older, like in your late, whatever, like your friends have like serious relationships or they're married or whatever like that. Like that's totally understandable and fine or whatever.
And you don't want to fuck everything. Yeah.
Yeah. And you don't want to fuck everything. But like at 20, a 21-year-old male, listen, I believe it or not, I've been one. You want to have sex with everything. And she's 19 and fucking hot. Oh, dude, 100%. He's friend, like he's had a crush on her forever. And you came along offering up your pussy, and that's why you're in a relationship, and you're probably hot too. But if his friend spread her fucking legs in front of him and said, fuck me, he wouldn't even think twice about you. He fucking wouldn't. I'm sorry, he wouldn't. I'm just basing this off 21-year-old male brain. He fucking wouldn't. So anyway, you're welcome. Arigatou gozaimasu. You're welcome.
You did not have to add the Japanese.
You're welcome for the sun. Anyway, yeah, no, that's sorry. This advice is super simple. You're, if he's not cheating,
break that off.
Yeah, if he's not cheating on you, he wants to.
He was at least thinking about her while having sex with you. So think about
that. I love this comment. Wait, this is the best comment in here, Amanda. I once called a girl by her sister's name during sex. To be fair, they were twins, and I fucked both of them before. That's the best.
To be fair.
Oh God,
I think that concludes this.
Yeah, that concludes relationship advice, guys. This has been another just fantastic podcast. We want to thank you so much for putting up with us while Amanda is on her rotations and on the phone and has shitty audio. One more episode of this bullshit and it'll be over. So no worries about that. My dad actually called me the other day because he's got a lot of audio engineering experience, and he was calling me and telling me how to fix it, fix your voice a little bit. And I gotta be honest, I'm too dumb to.
Too dumb.
Yeah, I'm too dumb to figure that shit out. Might have to have him come fix it, but it's just for one more episode, so whatever. Anyway, guys, we want to thank you so much. If you're not subscribed on Apple Music or Spotify or any of those, please do. Please share the podcast around. Help us out with that. And as always, we love you, and we will catch you next week. Peace.
Bye.